Hey folks, final day of practice for the Walmart FLW Tour on Lake Okeechobee. I'm joined by Cory Johnston, Canadian legend, fishing the tour this year. Cory, first off, you and your brother Chris are both fishing the tour. Can you explain a little bit to people how you guys practice and share information? Because you've got a pretty unique situation going on.
Yeah, it works good. I mean, we can cover twice the amount of water. And the first day, I went north, he went south, and we put our heads together. I caught fish, he caught fish, and we both kind of did our own thing. Found our own fish. We got one area where we both kind of practiced together, and there's some big ones in the area, and it's just a matter of getting the right 5 bites. They're few and far between, but they're the right ones.
All right. Do you think you've got the kind of places that you and Chris are going to end up fishing right alongside each other in this tournament, or is it, you know, you're going to be, 10 miles away from him?
We're probably going to start fairly close to each other. He's got a little deal going, and I got one going, almost within sight, but kind of 2 different patterns.
Okay.
The big fish seem to be, within a 1 mile radius that we've found. So, we're going to put our heads together, and we'll see. We'll probably end up fishing a lot of the same water. So.
All right. And getting those big fish that you mentioned, I mean, that's the key down here, because it's not often that somebody on Okeechobee weighs in a limit of 3-pounders. It's usually a couple of real big ones. And I guess you've at least found some places where those guys live.
Yeah, 1 or 2 big bites a day is all you need, and you feel you're limited with 3-pounders, and you're looking at a good day. So that's what I'm hoping for: 2 big bites a day and a few 3-pounders to go with it, and wherever that puts me, I'm happy with it.
Yeah, I would say that'll put you really pretty high if you can execute on that.
Yeah.
I've been on the water the last couple days a little bit. There are a lot of beds out there, like a lot of spawning activity starting to come on, it seems like. Have you dialed in to whether you're going to try and chase spawning fish, or are you more on a pre-spawn pattern?
No, I'm more on a pre-spawn pattern. The ones that we've been catching have been the big fat ones, the ones you want. So I'm going to go with that. I have looked at some beds. There's some males, a lot of males up on the beds, but they're just not the right ones to win.
Okay. Well, Cory, best of luck out there. I hope come Thursday those fish are right where you want them to be, and you can go out there and catch them.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, guys, we've got Mark Daniels Jr., MDJ. Man, I know you've got an affinity for Okeechobee now. You've had a few decent finishes down here. It probably compares a little bit to the Delta. So how's your practice been? What's the situation?
Man, Okeechobee, man, it's very unique this go around. The water is about 2.5 foot up from just 2 weeks ago when I was here for the Costa deal. And I think it's kind of put the fish in a funk, and, put a lot of water in that marshland, and those fish are able to get to a lot of places that they usually can't get to. So, it's making it a little tough to track them down, but man, this is Okeechobee. Guys are gonna catch them. There's gonna be some big bags caught. It's 80-degree weather right now. I mean, it's gonna happen.
Now, you say it's Okeechobee. Last time for the Costa FLW Series event, we saw really pretty low weights, but we've also seen tournaments here where it's taken more than 25 pounds a day to win.
Yes. Where
guys have cracked the 100-pound mark. What do you think we're looking at this time around? Do you have an idea of that yet?
I'm not going to put my finger on that and say for sure, but, looking at the weather patterns and the water temperatures, and, we've had the moon phases here recently, those big females are starting to push. So I'm thinking you're going to start seeing, you're going to see several bags over 20, but I think, that 14 to 16-pound bag a day is going to fare you really well in this event.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you've found that?
I've had a couple days where, I've caught several fish and have reached around that mark. I haven't really exceeded the 20-pound mark. Of course, I've been shaking quite a few of them off as well, but, you're going to see some big bags. I'm just hoping I'm one of the guys that has one of them.
All right. Now, you say shaking them off. Does that mean you're doing a little bit of flipping, or are you doing maybe other Okeechobee things?
Well, I'm mixing it up. I'm doing a lot of casting and a lot of flipping both. But
all right.
Anytime I get a chance to put those Signature Series Kisslers on the deck, I'm a happy
You're
man.
gonna do that.
I'm gonna do it, and Okeechobee is a place where it definitely goes down like that. And so yeah, I am doing quite a bit of flipping. But it's just the number of bites are not really there. The size has been decent when you do get bit, but we're gonna have to see. You got a day off, things are gonna change, the weather's gonna change, and you just never know.
All right. Well, Mark, I just looked at your boat and truck wrap in person now for the first time. I really took it in. I think it's maybe one of the cleanest, sharpest wraps on tour, dare I say. So even if you're not catching them, you're gonna be looking good out there. Man, best of luck.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you, Jody.
Hey folks, we're closing out the night with Joe Holland, the main event, Trapper Joe. In fact, the third most popular fantasy fishing option at fantasyfishing.com. You should play, it's free. You can win stuff. Joe, you're behind names like Brandon McMillan, Scott Martin. I hear you caught a 6-pounder here, just about in the dark, closing it out, dead batteries, making this happen. How's practice been?
Man, it's been an up and down practice. That fantasy fishing thing is awesome. I played that for years, and this year's the first time my fantasy fishing is going to be out on the water. So I'm really excited for that. Get on FLW.com, check it out. It's a ton of fun. I've always had fun playing it. Practice has been up and down. It's this lake's so different. I've been coming down like the last 4 or so winters and fishing from like December till May, and I've never seen the lock operational. And there's a lock about 1,000 yards from us, and it's closed right now. And the lake's the highest it's ever been. And we had like a couple weeks off where we weren't allowed on the water, and boy, you come out here and it's a different lake altogether. And one thing that's pretty cool about it is I'm finding new water that I've never seen before, and I'm pretty well certain the boat hasn't seen it before, because I'm going in there making trails and actually finding some fish. So I'm really excited for that.
All right, I love it. You mentioned just a minute ago that you felt like this is going to be a big wind tournament.
Yeah.
Can you explain, I guess, what you know the wind is going to do, or what we think it's going to do based on the forecast, and then how you feel like the best way to react is?
Yeah, this it'll be similar to what the angler saw in the Costa series a couple weeks ago, and this is Okeechobee, man. It blows so hard one way, and then
I like it.
You flip a switch and it's blowing the other way. So as of right now, the weathermen are saying we're gonna have a super strong south wind the first day, maybe have a little east in it, and by that night it'll be blowing 20 degrees northwest, so completely other direction. So guys, that I tried to plan my practice for both ends of the lake. You know, you run towards the wind, so fish the south end when it's blowing out of the south, and you got to find some fish on the north end for the second day. And then after that, you know, it's hard to plan for the third and fourth day. You just got to try to make it there first. And so my practice, I've been planning for both. I want to come out of the gate with a good bag the first day and see what happens there for the second day.
All right. Now, I've been asking a couple guys this as you know, basically the practices wore on. People know things a little bit more. Have you found any, maybe not overarching pattern, but any kind of trends that you see the fish doing, or do you feel like guys are going to be able to catch them doing almost whatever they want to out there?
That's a good question. That's something that's been on my mind the whole practice period too. Is it like typically when you guys come down here, FLW or any big tournaments, it's very sectional on the lake. There's sections that fish so much stronger than others.
Yep.
But right now, I honestly think you can go out there and win this tournament anywhere on the lake. And I think the winner's going to have different areas of the lake. You're going to see a north-south deal or south-north deal, maybe some east, maybe some west in there. And the lake's taken a pounding for the last couple weeks. I went to areas that, you know, where in the south end, they're just completely trashed. It looked like a bomb went off, and the water's, it's murky, and what's happening is there's so much water on top of the grass that normally filters it that it's not even getting filtered out. So it's a different color than I've ever seen in this lake. Normally it goes from like clear to mud, and right now on top of it, there's like a real black silty water on top of it. So that's kind of what's going on out there with the water. And
All right, I like it. I guess my last question, what do you feel like we're going to see weight-wise? Because you were one of the more positive guys that I've seen here.
Oh, man.
Granted, you're always positive, but what do you feel is
it's
what's
such
going
a
on?
hard call for weights. I'd expect the first day to see some pretty good bags, maybe some mega bags if the trend continues. Yeah, man, it's going to be huge. Tomorrow, I'd like to be fishing tomorrow, to be honest with you, with the trend, it's supposed to be mid-80s.
Okay.
And then after that, so they're going to move in. Thursday's going to be awesome. We're going to see a lot of fish that we haven't seen before. And then depending on the weather and how your spots hold up and what the fish do with that cold front and the rain and the clouds and and complete 360 on the wind. So for weights, I would say you're going to see some big bags day 1. Day 2, you'll see a couple big bags, maybe not as many, and then 3 and 4, it's wide open. I'm trying not to think too far ahead for that, but I'd say if I had to pick a number right now, if you're playing fantasy and you had to pick a bag, I'd say something like, I'd say 75, 76 pounds.
All right. Well, Joe, pleasure as always, and best of luck out there once this thing starts.
Thanks, Jody. I'm excited.